I sat down in person with games media personality Colin Moriarty to talk about my lifelong doubting faith and the reasons I still hang on to it. You can listen to that conversation right now by following the link below. I hope you enjoy it. Hey, I'm Peter Franson from christiangeekcentral.com and Spirit Blade Productions. Welcome to Trial and Error, where I play the first part of a game or a game demo, usually do that pretty badly, and give you my thoughts along the way. This time I'm taking a look at the long-awaited by me, Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire Ultimate Edition on the PlayStation 4. Now, I played the original Pillars of Eternity 2, or Pillars of Eternity, once on PC, and then again with all the expansion stuff added on, all the way through on PlayStation 4. Really, it is one of my favorite games of all time. It just really didn't start out that way, but it grew on me over time until I realized, wow, this has really been a great experience. And so I've very much been looking forward to playing the sequel, which I've not played before. I love the D&D aesthetic. I love the real-time with pause combat of the first game, which is more uncommon than you might think. There's just so much that I really enjoyed about that first game. I do have some questions about whether or not I will enjoy this one as much, though. I'm not into the pirate theme. I know a few years ago pirates really became big, and everybody's been really into pirates. I'm not really into pirates, yarr, and that kind of stuff. So I'm not looking forward to that being a major component, or ship combat. I'm not really looking forward to that. I just want the meat and potatoes of a D&D aesthetic and this kind of combat that this series has, you know, much like Dragon Age Origins and Baldur's Gate and Icewind Dale and those kinds of things. The writing can also be a bit verbose in the first game. I'm assuming that will probably carry over into the second game, something I'm not necessarily looking forward to. I'm not terribly interested in the world, and there are lots of names and places and lots of proper nouns to kind of keep track of that can make it a little bit difficult to understand what's going on in the larger world and your place in the larger world in the first game. And half of that is just, you know, renaming things because they don't want to say elves and dwarves or, you know, whatever else from the other more popular fantasy genre pieces of entertainment. They have to have new species and new gods and all this kind of stuff. And sometimes it can just be a bit much. But I don't typically play video games, even role-playing games, for their story, so that's not going to be a big drag for me. It's more about what can I do in this digital world with my, you know, digital action figures? What kind of choices can I make and what effect will they have on the world? That's a lot more interesting to me. Now, from what I understand, this game carries over your game save from the first game, or allows you to make choices, you know, early on to simulate carrying over that save, which is really cool. I just finished my PS4 playthrough of the first game over the Christmas break just a month and a half ago, and so I am ready to take my wizard Elderast and bring him into Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire Ultimate Edition. Here we go. I love all the options they give you as far as like when auto-pause takes place, so you can really have a lot of control over the flow of the game and how much you want to keep it going or how much you want to like slow it down and get tactical when certain things happen. That's great. I do think it's cool they put all this work to include a turn-based mode. I'm sure a lot of people want it and will appreciate that, but not me. Now, I think I played most of the original Pillars of Eternity on Relaxed, which is actually what they default to. I think that's interesting. And I like the naming convention, by the way, instead of like easy, normal, hard, that kind of thing. But I think late in Pillars of Eternity, I went for story mode. I think toward the end game, it got just a little bit more tactical than I was interested in it being at the end of a workday. I'll start out at, you know, their default setting of Relaxed and just kind of see how that feels. This level scaling option has me really curious. By default, they have it set to all, so enemies within a scene will adjust their level up or down depending on my player character's level. And they give you the option to only scale upwards so that encounters aren't too easy. They don't give the option to only scale downwards to keep encounters from being too hard, so I guess I'm relying on the difficulty to adjust that. I don't know how I feel about that. Sometimes I like being able to grind so that I'm powerful and just destroy challenges that once really were difficult for me. But it looks like they're giving you warnings if there's something you can't change in-game, and these options don't have that kind of warning, so I'll just move forward with relaxed, with all level scaling on, and see how that feels. Oh man, this loading I'm not happy with. I think especially late in the game on the Pillars of Eternity 1, loading could really take a while. I'm thinking, man, for a game like this that largely is not in 3D, why is the loading taking so long?
The ritual also gave you horrible visions. Waking nightmares of a past life that threatened your safety.
I don't like this reading here. I'd rather just read it myself without a voice actor.
Still, the dwarf's well-practiced habits have left telltale tracks of a welcoming rictus across his visage.
Oh boy. Did they hire an actress to read all of the prose? I am not going to want to listen to this actress read all of the narration. In the first game, I did end up turning off all of the voice actors because I tend to read faster than they perform, and typically voice actor performances, some are better than others, but they're never that interesting that I just want to, like, wait for them to deliver the whole performance before I move on. And it's far less frequent that I'm happy at all with the protagonist voice options that I have to choose from for the character I create. I'd rather just read the lines of NPCs and my character in my head, or if I'm feeling extra nerdy, out loud, and in that way better create in my mind the character and characters and the world that most interests me.
The creases of the dwarf's face tighten into a smile.
Wow, everything. She's gonna read everything.
Thank you for joining us, Watcher of Cadnua.
The gaunt woman seated at the table is clad in time-worn black armor.
Oh crap, oh seriously, it doesn't read my save? So I have to remember all these choices that I made? And they're even grouping them together. Like packages instead of like much more detailed crap. I really thought they were gonna read my save file. Okay, now it says create new history. Maybe I can do that. Okay, so they do allow you to go in and make your own detailed, but I gotta reconstitute. I gotta try and remember. It's a good thing I only finished playing the first game a month and a half ago. I'm sure I'm still gonna get some of these wrong. That sucks. I really wish it would have been able to read my save. Alright, no kidding, that took me like at least 30 minutes to go through all of the decisions and sub-decisions. I mean, it was worth it for me because I liked my character in the first game. I want him and his story and his choices to carry over into this game. But man, I should not have had to go through all that crap. 30 minutes of getting a Wikipedia page open to refresh my memory on a game that I just completed 6 weeks ago, but my gosh. Nice. There's a dialogue option, I won't spoil at the beginning, that basically allows you to end the game right then and there. Yeah, leave it to Obsidian to give you choices upon choices. Appreciate that. Alright, but let's do that again. That's such a tease. They say start from scratch or import a character, which makes it sound like I can import the character from my save game. But no, they got a bunch of like just basically pre-generated characters here, not my character. Ugh, that's lame. Man, I'm not a fan of these load times. Wow, okay. So I just ran a test. It was 50 seconds to load my game. And it was about a minute and 40 seconds to get from my PlayStation menu to this point. You know, just loading up the game initially, and then selecting to load my save, and then getting all the way to this point. About a minute and 40 seconds, and it was 50 seconds of that was just waiting for the load screen right before getting into the game. I don't look forward to the load times increasing later on in the game as they seem to do in the first game. I could be imagining it, I don't think I am, but these icons and the inventory spaces look smaller here than they did in the first game. Wow, just over 50 seconds again just to load from one part of my ship to another. Again, this is what I love about not having a voiced protagonist, is that they can afford to give you so many more different kinds of dialogue options that represent so many different ways that you can play a character. Oh, nice. I'm saving the crate, baby. Sorry, Tupac, you're going overboard. Okay, that load time was just over a minute. I want to comment just briefly on the lore of this game. You know, a polytheistic, religious system is part of the lore, as it was in the first game. And spoiler about the nature of the gods if you haven't played all the way through the first game, but we learned that they were actually in some way created by humans, that they're not actually these eternal creatures. And it's possible that reflects a naturalistic view on the part of the writers. I'm not sure, because a naturalistic person is going to see gods as kind of the quote-unquote creation of humans. But in any case, the gods are certainly not eternal, certainly not all good, certainly not worthy, actually, of worship. And yet, you find yourself at the start of this game subject to them, having to serve one of them in order to get yourself out of the situation that you're in. Now, God, as we know him from the Bible, is not anything like these, polytheistic gods of fiction or from actual human history, like the Greek gods and stuff like that. But I think that we can be susceptible to viewing him that way, forgetting the nature of who he is, and in our harder times of life, our darker moments, seeing him as petty or neglectful or something like that. And so I do think there's some value in, playing a game like this and reflecting on, in what ways do I tend to view God in a way that is inaccurate? And what maybe pain in my life do I need to face or look at more closely to wrestle through and sort through those kinds of thoughts? Oh, that's weird. Some of the quests you receive may be challenging until your character has achieved a higher level. A quest that is beyond your character's current level will be marked in your journal with 1, 2, or 3 skulls, one for every level. If a quest is more than 3 levels above your character's current level, then the skulls will appear red. So then in what sense are they scaling the encounters to match my level if there's still this thing in play? Or is this just a default tutorial thing that's going to pop up no matter what difficulty settings I choose? I don't know. Oh man, thematically I have some issues with this. I understand them resetting my character back to level 1 because you die, you kind of come back to life, so you can kind of see how that experience would kind of reset you, but my companion from the first game has returned, Adair, and I assume they're going to put him at level 1. They're even giving me the option to change what his class is. I guess the alternative would be a Baldur's Gate 2 situation, where I didn't like Baldur's Gate 2 as much as Baldur's Gate 1 because you started off at the level you left off at the end of Baldur's Gate 1 in Baldur's Gate 2. And so the combat, the nature of it just changed dramatically. It became a lot more about weird status effects and, it just wasn't as enjoyable to me. So I guess I do prefer a reset, but thematically I have to work a little bit to make it work in my mind. Maybe he's been out of adventuring for long enough that he's kind of de-leveled or something. I don't know. The user interface is different enough from the first game on PlayStation 4 that I'm kind of going through and looking at the tutorial windows again just to see what's changed. It's very, very similar, but some of the finer details are different, and so there's still a little bit of an adjustment. I can't say that I dislike the changes yet. They're just different, and I'm adapting to them. Oh, it looks like they've kind of boosted stealth mechanics a bit. You can see like a hearing radius around characters that you're sneaking near, and a vision cone that you can avoid. You can throw things to distract them. I don't remember any of this from the first game, unless I just missed it. It's cool. I seem to remember an option in the first game to have your exploration be at a certain speed, like the fast speed. That's what I prefer to explore at, is the fast speed. And then for time to slow down and run at the slow speed during combat. But I'm not seeing an option to change that, which would be a little bit lame. Take some adjusting to manually switch over to slower speed once I hit combat. About 50 seconds. It's a pretty reliable average for all load times to be at least 50 seconds. I've had one as long as a minute. Okay, so once combat starts, I can kind of on the fly adjust the combat speed. I kind of wish that little fast mode active notification didn't stay there the whole time I was in fast mode. For me, fast mode is normal. That's the normal mode, so I don't want a little thing on my screen Oh my gosh, I can only zoom the camera in and out when combat is unpaused? That's lame. Okay, so the combat speed that you select on the fly in combat does carry over from one combat to the next, so that's nice. Yeah, I mean, it's the same game in most respects to the first one. There's just some little changes I'm having to get used to, and so far that's fine. What? No. I wanted those put in the stash. I have the stash highlighted. There's also not like a one-button press to put stuff from a character's inventory into the stash inventory, and that was in the first game. I don't know why they would take that out. Yeah, this is just a little bit cumbersome moving things like this. The game definitely has some nice visual upgrades from the first one that, I mean, wouldn't be necessary for me to enjoy the game at all, but like just seeing it's in the little details, you know, like all the little plants that are kind of blowing in the wind a little bit, and sometimes there'll be like some perspective stuff where there's things in the distance that are blurred and set back, you know. It's not by any means like a game changer at all, but it is noticeable to me that like, oh, it seems like they're figuring out how to better work with this engine. Is this music recycled from the first game? Some of it might be. Like, exact same track, I'm not sure. I don't mind, it's good music, and this definitely feels like a continuation of the story of the original, just a little bit surprising. Accept the light and you shall be redeemed. A woman shouts, arms raised high and wide. In each hand she grips a golden candle. The flames gutter wildly as she gestures to the crowd before her. The missionary holds a candle to drip wax in the shape of 3 stars on the forehead of each kneeling worshiper. This flame, the missionary continues, is not for purification, it is for illuminating the darkness. Sanctification comes only as a result of your journey, but the light will guide your way. There's actually a little bit there that parallels biblical teaching. Sanctification comes only as a result of your journey. Sanctification is the process in this life of becoming more and more in line with what God intends for us to be. Anyway, after playing the last game, I know they're going to be playing around with, you know, religious themes again in this game, so I'm always curious what they're doing with it, what they're maybe trying to say or not intentionally trying to say. Aothus has returned at last. That's the god that took control of your giant statue. But it's not too late to redeem ourselves. That's that kind of language, redeeming ourselves. That's the kind of thing you're going to hear outside of Christianity, but you don't really hear that in biblical Christianity, even though redemption as a word is associated very heavily with Christianity. Oh, interesting, they're doing this again. I thought this was just with Adair, but they're doing it with the other characters too, letting you, when you recruit them, choose what class they're going to be. I really wish they would have done that in the original game. The music, I can't make up my mind. The music might not be actually just recycled from the first one. I think there's maybe a little bit of that, but I'm also noticing the same melodies being reorchestrated maybe to fit the island, you know, pirates at sea kind of theme a little bit more closely. It definitely feels like very safe, like this is the sound of Pillars of Eternity. And I guess I would have preferred that to them leaning even harder into the pirate vibe. I like this return to the storybook, kind of choose your own adventure style choices or scenarios. It's a nice... I mean, I actually kind of prefer it over... I mean, I definitely prefer it over watching a long cutscene, which might be more cool and a lot more produced, but these things are much more likely to have interactive elements and choices, you know? And, I mean, I'm like a lifelong RPG gamer, both video game and tabletop, so, I mean, my imagination is ready to go for stuff like this. Wow, these load times, I mean... Not only are they long, but they're frequent. I mean, assuming that the PlayStation 5 is, as I think it's been said to be, going to have a solid-state drive and should be backwards compatible to PS4 games, gosh, I've waited this long, I almost wonder if I might prefer to wait until the PS5 comes around and play it then. And that's not because I'm not enjoying the game. I'm having a great time. I just have so many other games I haven't finished yet that I'm also really enjoying, so I don't feel an urgency to jump into this one. Well, it saves nice and quick. I appreciate that. I don't think the last game saved as quickly as this one does. Can I not go down those stairs? What's the deal here? Why can I not go down these stairs? What the crap? Oh, that was weird. Something is going on. I feel like I'm... That's bizarre. Come on! Go, go, go down the stairs! There's something about the way party movement is handled that is different from the first game, and I don't like it. I can't even describe how they're moving and stacking themselves, ordering themselves differently. It's like the game is trying to auto-order them, and it just doesn't work out. It's, ugh. Come on, just go down the stairs. Go down the stairs. Oh my gosh, I'm totally pushing the thing. Oh my gosh, am I like stuck now? I'm just stuck. Can't move anywhere. Can't move anywhere. Does turning off fast mode help? No, it does not. Well gosh, now the combat started, I sure hope that we're gonna be able to walk down this ramp and fight. There we go. Good grief. Yeah, just the moving items, the inventory management controls are not as good for me. Like, for example, here there's coin on this. Now, if I press square, that will put all of it into, I think, whatever I have highlighted. So it'll put it all into the stash. But I don't necessarily want to pick up this piece of paper, I just want to read it. So I was like, okay, well, let's just take the cash for now. And in the original game, I could press X, and it would take the cash. And no matter who's highlighted at the time, if I have a character here highlighted, it'll still go to the stash. You know, it's not kept in the inventory. But here, I hit X. Okay, I'll take all 25. And then it's like, where do you want to put it? I'm like, where do you think I want to put it? Just put it in the stash. Why are you making me go through the motions of, let's see. See, it doesn't take up a spot in her inventory. It should just go straight to the stash. And technically, it's not even being stored in a slot in the stash anyway. So there's just some steps backward that the inventory management controls have taken on gamepad. Oh crap, more stairs. Come on now. Come on now. Go up the stairs. Go up the stairs. Oh my gosh. This has got to get patched. Or like navigating maze-like dungeons is going to be such a pain. I don't know, is the other party members blocking my movement? Let me take off the sneaking mode. Does that help at all? That does not help at all. Okay, so Blondie should be in the lead. And there's nothing obstructing him. Why? Okay. This is ridiculous. Man, here I was thinking that, like, yeah, there were some issues with the port that I'm not happy with, but it's still like the Pillars of Eternity experience. It's got the D&D vibe to it. It's got all the systems that I want. It's got the aesthetics. I mean, it's like, it is what I want, and I enjoyed the first game so much. But this crap, this makes the game, like, long-term unplayable. Even if I was trying to put up with like, the load screens and stuff, even if that never got patched out, I could put up with that. Put on a podcast or whatever. But this is crazy. Stuck on this ramp, too. What the crap? Does this have something to do with the way I've ordered, like, what formation I'm using? Let's try a different formation. Let's try block formation. Oh, okay. There. Okay, how about these stairs? Okay, great. So there's something about... Oh, but now I've got my wizard in the lead. I don't want my wizard in the lead. Okay, so single file works fine, but again, my wizard's in the lead. Custom formation 1. Okay, this is what I want. This is the order I want. Blondie first, he's my fighter. Green Lady second, she's my healer. Third is my rogue, and fourth is my wizard. That's the order of travel I want. This is what I'd be happy with. Now let's do the stairs like this. Nope. Nope. What the crap? I don't want to have to charge into combat with my freaking mage in the lead. Okay, I'm gonna keep barreling through. I'm going to... Maybe having my mage in the lead won't, screw with my combat tactics as much as I think it will. I'll tell you, when it's gonna get ugly is when there's a trap. And the first person in the party to run into it is my freaking wizard. See, this is the kind of stuff that I really do love about these games, you know? All these different ways that I can respond, you know? Some of them rude, some of them kind-hearted, some of them noble, some of them just honest, some of them coldly tactical. And the character that I like to play as is complex, and he doesn't always do the same exact thing, you know? He doesn't just do the good choice or the bad choice. A lot of times he makes the bad choices. Sometimes he makes a good choice because he's playing the long con, you know? I mean, there's room for so much more complexity in kind of my headcanon of who my main protagonist is because of all the choices that they allow me to have. It's the reason that I loved the first game, and despite the bumps, the big bumps in the road, I'm just really enjoying the second game too. Whoa. Oh, I'd heard about this, but this is great. This is the behavior editor so that you can customize the AI decisions for your party members. So, very similar what I'm seeing to, say, like Final Fantasy XII or Dragon Age Origins. Oh my gosh, look at all these conditions that I can set as triggers for behavior types. Unless the game freezes up on me. Alright, there we go. Wow. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, I could get lost in this for a while. And in a good way, I think. See, having these kinds of options to customize the AI may actually lead me to play this on a higher difficulty than I played the first game on. Oh, that's great. That's great. I'm not even going to dive into that right now, though. But yes, it very much reminds me of Final Fantasy XII, if you have all your gambits unlocked and you could just set, like in this case, do this, and then you prioritize, you know, like which one's going to be more important than another, you know, command that you set in there. It's a bit like coding, you know. Dragon Age Origins also similarly had a lot, but it looks like this has even more. I'm like, oh, I'm looking forward to just diving into that. Oh crap, my wizard's in the way. See, this is what I wanted to avoid. He's in the front taking all the hits. We're in this narrow little section here, and so now I'm gonna have to select my wizard individually. Since they can't move past each other easily, I don't know, can he sneak back here? No, his party members are in the way. So I gotta move him further into danger to make room for the others to get through. Okay, so let me use the custom formation as a default, so I can walk around the way I want. And then just maybe when I hit stairs, I'll switch to a different formation. Let's see, can we get out of here this way? No. Stairs problematic again. So let's see. Switch to that. Oh, wait, what the crap? There's also... Like, you're supposed to, like in the first game, to select all party members, you just hit L1 and R1 at the same time, boom, and that selects all. But here you actually have to hold it down for like a second. Alright, now let's get out of here. Yeah, just... In general, there's an increased burden to the various things that I might want to do as I'm controlling the game with the gamepad. And that is how I want to play these games. I do not want to play with mouse and keyboard. Boy, there's a frustrating number of like places where you've got a main area map, a main location map, and then you'll walk into a room and it's just a little small room. You'll do your little thing in there and then you'll leave. But that's a load into that little room and a load out to get back out of it every time, and that's close to a minute of loading time. Then you come out, go to a different place in the location, like I've just done right now. Now I'm moving into another room. I don't know how big it's going to be, how long I'm going to spend there, but it's just, that is irritating. There we go. Oh, crap! Alright, that did not work. I thought I was choosing to interact. Alright, so I guess I gotta do this. See, before, last time, it more intuitively allowed you to interact with discovered traps so that your rogue would more easily automatically go and attempt to disarm them. But making that happen here it's just not responding as well. I can't even describe it. There's all these things I can't describe to you that are just... It's not just different. Like, at first I was like, okay, I'm just adjusting to the new kind of schemes and the way the slightly modified things. And yeah, some of it was that. But there are other elements that just do not control as well, do not function as smoothly. Go take care of the trap, girl. I just told you, I just clicked on it, told you to go do it. Do I gotta have you walk around this thing first? Do I have to actually guide you there? Okay, now you're in line of sight. Come on. Take care of it. There we go. Alright. Alright. Everybody, release. Oh, dang. Let's see here. Oh yeah, I gotta get used to this. I'm used to a wheel coming up, like, you know, you've got this wheel that brings up, like, your basic command to attack, your inventory, and other things like that. This is the exploration wheel. And I'm used to a very similar wheel popping up when I hit right trigger, but instead it gives me this, these lines that I'm... this, I think, is just a matter of getting used to. I don't think it's, you know, necessarily a step backward. Well, let's knock him down. Good. And what do you got? Oh yeah, okay, let's daze him. Sure. And what do you got here? Crippling strike, sure. Let's give it a go. Alright, everybody know what they're doing? Alright, here we go, everybody. And activate. Ooh, this guy's a toughie. We're chipping away at him, though. Nice. Cool. Yeah, it's still exactly the kind of combat I think I most enjoy in RPGs. Okay, now see, the trap has been detected, but now I'm like locked onto interacting with the thing there. Can I unhinge from that? No, I can't. Well, how do I choose? I'm like tethered to that thing. I want to... Let's see here. That didn't work. Alright, there we go. I want to interact with that. Okay, interact. with that. Don't set it off. Nice. Using my custom formation. Alright. Okay. Oh, beware the stairs. There we go. Alright. Up the stairs and back to custom. Oh, that's lame. Please patch that. Alright, another trap. Not close enough to choose to interact with it yet. Maybe now? No, still not quite close enough. Okay, couple traps detected. Stop! Don't move a muscle. Why is it still coming from Eldorast in the back? That's my... And then I'm not... Okay, there's something I can interact with. Okay, there we go. Oh, yeah, okay, so you gotta, like... You gotta finesse it. If you push the analog stick too far out, you'll totally go past the thing you want to interact with. So you gotta... Just barely... Right there. Okay, and release. Oh, trap detected. Unpause. Come on. I wanted my rogue to... Okay, let's try again. Interact... Interact, release. Oh, crap! But see, I was... Okay, here's the thing. I'm doing this, and then releasing left stick isn't what has you interact with it. You've got to release X. But if I'm still pushing the left analog stick, it's going to erase over the thing I want to interact with and instead start moving my party in accordance with my left analog stick movement. So I gotta try and release what? Both at the same time? Release! Oh, jeez. Let's try again with the other trap. Shit, gotta get it just right. And release! Alright. I'm sure I'll get used to it. Ugh. I don't envy them the task of porting such a mouse and keyboardy game to gamepad UI, to create a UI for gamepad. I do not envy them that task, but I so appreciate it when it's done well. And I thought they did it well in the first game. It just isn't quite lining up for me in the second game. Release! Didn't work that time. Try again, and release! There we go. I probably don't need to say, release, every time, do I? I also missed being able to get a nice overview of the whole dungeon layout. It used to be just hitting the touchpad would bring that up, and now that brings up this dumb tutorials thing. Which was nice for a little while, but I'm kind of done needing tutorials. I would rather this button bring up the area map like it did in the first game. Instead, I gotta go left trigger, and then try to get this right on here, an area map. But I mean, that's easy for me to miss. I could bring that open instead. I suppose if I get a little more practiced with it. Nope. Didn't quite make it. I tried to rest. Oh, tried to rest again. So see, it's just not as fast and easy. Oh, that's right. We gotta change our party order again. Alright. Everybody, come on, everybody. Oh, you're stuck. Come on, everybody now. There we go. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, stairs again. Dang it. Okay. You know what? Okay, I've played this for my customary 5 hours at this point. I want to love it. I really want to love this game. I'm frustrated that I don't. I'm only renting it right now, and I think it's very likely that it is going to be a purchase for me at some point down the line. But I've got still a backlog of games I'm enjoying that I would like to get through, so there's no need for me to spend money on a purchase for this game right now in the state that it's in, which I hope will be improved. I hope there'll be some patches over time. So probably what I'll do is just kind of check back on the website for this game every, like, maybe 2 or 3 months and see what the patch history looks like and see if these issues have been corrected, and then at some point purchase it when it's, even a little discounted, maybe, 3 to 6 months from now. I'm sure there's a bunch of other reviews that you could watch that'll tell you more about, like, the game itself, not specific to the port, and I think it got a lot of great reviews. I'm really enjoying all of the things, I think, in this game that are not specific to the gamepad UI. And the problems I am having with the gamepad UI, I mean, namely, it's this issue with going up and down stairs. That seems like just a very small and specific thing that they should be able to fix with a patch, that they probably will fix with a patch. I mean, it would boggle my mind if they didn't. The other things, the inventory things, the inventory management, controls, and the loading stuff, which is also probably pretty specific to a console port, maybe those won't be changed. Maybe they won't be improved. They seem more like specific choices and not bugs, like the stair travel thing clearly seems to be a bug. Would I still, want to play this game with those things? Yes, I would still put up with them, because I'm really into the D&D aesthetic, real-time with pause, lots of choices so I can play a complicated and, sometimes unpredictable character. This game has so much of what I love in a fantasy RPG that I'm going to give it every opportunity to improve itself in the future, but it's not a purchase for now. Also really curious what they're going to continue to do with the philosophical, theological stuff. Always food for thought in the last game and in its expansion, and I'm already finding that to be true in this game as well. Not deep into it to really be able to comment on it a whole lot, but I'm sure that's part of the experience that I'm going to really sink my teeth into. And I think that's all I have to say for now. I'd love to get your thoughts in the comments below, and then I hope you'll join us soon over at christiangeekcentral.com as we continue to geek out and seek the truth.